Okay, so now that you've gone through the checklist and you've gathered all of the information that it asks for and any additional information that you find crucial, we are going to dump it onto this Trello workboard. We're going to dump it into your command center. So the first step that I want you to do is rename these lists. So the first name here on this list is going to be Business Basics. The second one is going to be Business Online. Third is going to be Finance. The fourth one is going to be Professionals. Okay, great. So now we're going to organize the information that we have gathered from that checklist and input it here onto the Trello board. Now, what we're trying to do here is gather any crucial information. If you were to die tomorrow and someone needed to run your business, the goal is that they can come onto here and get a pretty good idea of all of the people they need to know that help run your business, whether that's your lawyer, your accountant, or your bookkeeper. They need to know who your website is hosted with, or who your insurance is provided through, or who your banker is. So the goal is get as much of this crucial information on here so that way your business is not held up as you as the bottleneck, that you're the gatekeeper of all of this information. So we've already added on the business license. We added in a website where you can renew your business license. This is just the one here in Utah. And then I added an image of the business license. So we're going to move on and add a couple more cards here. So the next card that we're going to make in the business basic list is your EIN. So you'll just click on add card and type in EIN and then click add card. And then you can click right into that card and we can start adding some information. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add an attachment, and I'm going to attach a scanned copy of my letter from the IRS with my EIN. Okay, so we've got that here. I'm actually going to leave this cover on. You can remove it if you'd like, but then you can type in here and you can actually type in, I'm going to blur this out, but you can type in your EIN. And hit save. And then I'm going to close this card, and that's it for the EIN. You've got your attached letter, you've got your EIN number inside this card, and now anyone in your organization, if they ask for an EIN or they need the EIN for any reason, you can direct them here and they'll be able to find it. So the next thing that we're going to add in the business basics list, for me, I'm going to add my sales tax. And this one's going to be really simple. I'm just going to add, here in Utah we have a TAP account, they call it TAP, Utah Sales Tax. And I'm just going to copy this URL and paste it in here. And then I'm going to put my username. I'm not going to put a password, and I'm going to hit save. Again, the goal is let's get all the information out here. If I needed to assign one of my employees to go and pay sales tax, this command center is going to be a place for them to reference so that they can start down the path of that task. If I ask somebody to pay sales tax, they can click on here, they can then click here and go to tab, and then I have shared my username with them. Now, if you want to learn how to share passwords in your organization, using some tools that are online, you can purchase my other course called Momentum Multiplier, and that will show you how to do that. I'm not going to get into that here. As long as you have the URL for where you're going to be paying your taxes and you have a username, you will then have to manually share a password with that person. But this is where you need to be, and this is what you need to be including on this list here. So then we're going to move on to Business Online. This is where you're going to share anything that has to do with your business online, whether that's your website URL or your hosting company or your social media platforms, anything like that. So I'm going to jump in and do one for my website URL. So here I'm going to just type in my URL, and I'm going to put who the hosting company is. And then I'm going to put how often the renewal for hosting is. and then I'm going to hit save. And then you can close this card out. Then I'm going to move on to socials. So I'm going to start a new card, socials, add card. I'm going to jump into the card details, and I'm going to do Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I'm just going to type in my username on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. And you can include some information here, like the username that you use to log in. I would not put passwords in on here. I advise against that. If you need to share passwords in your organization, I've got a course that teaches you how to use some tools that are online. That's the momentum multiplier. But here you're just going to put your URL to your Facebook page, your business Facebook page, or your business Instagram page, or your business TikTok. And underneath those URLs, you're going to put the username that you use to log into those platforms. Okay, so I've gone ahead and pasted in my URLs. You'll notice that it populates a really cool hyperlink. I did it for my Facebook, my Instagram, and my YouTube. You'll notice that I didn't have a TikTok. We don't have a TikTok account. This is a company that I'm consulting with, and so one of the things that I'm asking them to do is to create a TikTok, and they don't have one yet. So I'm going to hit save here, and I'm going to take this as an opportunity to show you how to add a to-do list. So I'm going to click here on the add another list. I'm just going to type in to-do and hit enter. And I'm going to add a card, and this is going to be a to-do list for me and my team. Create a TikTok account. And that's just a reminder that I need to create a TikTok account, and I will share that with my team. So we're going to move on. We've got the website URL and the hosting company. We've got my socials. I'm going to add a Google My Business. And I'm just going to do the same thing here. I'm going to type in some credentials, so username. And again, I'm not going to put a password here. If you need an employee to jump in and manage some of this, you'll have to share that password with them. And then I might add a cover here, just for fun to make it look good. By uploading that image. So you can get creative with it so it doesn't look so bland. And then I'm going to close this, and you'll notice now it has the cover of Google My Business. You can do that for your website. You can put your logo, or you can do that for your socials, anything like that, just to make it more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the finance list. Here's where you're going to create cards for important information and important people that deal with your finances. So you might put your banker's information, or your bookkeeper's information, or your accountant's information, or the software that you use for your finances. So I'm just going to jump in here and create a new card, and this first card that I'm going to make is going to be for my banker. So here I'm going to just say that it's through Chase Bank, and I'm going to I think I have an image of his card, so I'm going to attach an image. His name is Jonah. And I'm going to just put his phone number in here, 206-694. Six 694 6572. Hit save, and again, we're trying to get the idea is that we can get everything, all the crucial information onto this board So that way if an employee comes to you and they need something, or they have a question about something, or they're running to the bank and they're having issues at the bank, well, who can they call? We'll call Jonah. Jonah is the banker that I have a relationship with. Let him know that I've sent you, and he'll get you taken care of. So now that I've added the banker information, I'm going to move on and add my accountant. And for this particular business, their accountant's up in Washington. So I'm going to just paste the URL for that accountant's firm here. And I'm going to copy their phone number here. And their accountant's name is Jennifer. Next, I'm going to add our business lawyer. So I'm just going to hit add card and put lawyer and jump into that card and just put his name. His name's Tony. Then I'm going to add the website. And I'm going to add his phone number. And then I'm going to hit save. Now, if you don't have a lawyer, or if you don't have an accountant, or if you don't have a bookkeeper, or any of these things, or a banker, go ahead and in the to-do list, if it's something that resonates with you and you feel like, yeah, I do need to get that business lawyer, I do need to find an accountant, I need to make I need to make an acquaintance with a banker and have a good relationship with them, but I don't, go ahead and create a card on this to-do list so that you remember to do that later. It's just as easy as that. So next I'm going to make a card for our bookkeeper. Now, our bookkeeper actually works at the same place as our accountant. So you can click into the accountant and you can make a copy of it. And the new title is going to be bookkeeper. And I'm going to create the card. And now you'll see there's a bookkeeper. Now I can actually drag this down towards the bottom. And it's not Jennifer anymore, so I need to change this. Jennifer was the accountant, and our bookkeeper was Heather. So if anybody needs to call and talk to the bookkeeper, they can talk to Heather. So next we're going to move over to the professionals list. This is a list of contacts that do professional services for you. Now you'll notice that I put the lawyer in the finance section, and that's probably not the most appropriate place for the lawyer. So I just want to show you can actually grab a card and move it over to the other list. So this is where your lawyer might be, your graphic artist, your insurance provider, your SEO expert, stuff like that. This is where they're going to go. So I'm dragged over the lawyer card. I'm going to move on to my insurance provider. And for this one, I'm actually going to attach a scanned copy of the policy. And I've already done this. I've gone ahead and did this before. I did this before shooting. So I scan that in, it's uploading, and now the attachment is there. If I need to see more details, I can click in here and see more details. In the description, I'm going to do the company name. This is just through State Farm. I'm going to do the policy number. I'll blur this out. And then I'm going to put my agent. And I'm going to put his phone number. And hit save. I'm going to close that card out. And then I'm going to move on and put any other professionals. You might do an SEO expert and put their contact information. You might have a graphic artist or graphic designer. Anybody that is a professional that you use as a freelancer, or somebody that you use regularly for their professional services, you're going to add in their details here. So once you've added in all of your crucial information, anything that you can think of, you can get creative with this. You can add some cover images. You can come in here and say, well, I don't really care to look at this cover of my EIN, so you can remove the cover. It still leaves it as an attachment, kind of cleans it up a little bit. And you can get kind of creative with this and make it look nice. And you can always revisit this. If something comes up and you end up hiring a new web developer, you can add their card to the professionals. And if you have a to-do list, if you've got something like create a TikTok account, you can open up this task here and you can write a little message here. We need to create a TikTok account, and you can add a member to this card. So you can share this board with someone by just simply typing in their email address. If they don't have a Trello account, they'll get an email saying someone's trying to share a board with you, and then they'll accept the invitation and create their own account. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything or them anything. You can make them an admin, you can make them a member, a viewer, and once you've added them to the board, then you can go to specific cards. And this is a reminder that we need a TikTok account. I'm not going to be the one that creates it, but I do have a member of my team that does a lot of our social media, and I'm going to ask them to create it. So then I could just come to this card and add a member, and if I've already added them to the board, I'll be able to search their name here and find them and click on it, and then they'll get a notification that they've been added to a task or to a card. And then once they've created the TikTok account, they can come in here and add a note and say, thanks for the reminder. Thanks for the reminder. I've created an account. We'll update the socials. We'll update the socials card on Trello. Save. And then they can jump in here and go to the socials card, paste in the URL, paste in the username, and they can archive this ticket here. Now that's not all that you can do with Trello. You can create a new board for tasks that you have for each individual department in your company. You could have a marketing list with a bunch of different tasks that need to happen. You can tag certain members of each team and tell them, I need you to work on a new Facebook ad. Or you can have a list that is for the design team, and you can say that we need a new thumbnail for the YouTube video. Or you can have a task for your accounting department where it's preparing quarterly reports, and you could create to-do lists for each of your departments, and you can manage them within Trello. I don't go into that in this course, but you can get creative with it. Once you have your business command center and all of your crucial information is here, utilize it. When an employee comes to you or your office manager comes to you and they say, hey, I got a letter in the mail that taxes are due next week, utilize this. Tell them to go to the command center and click on the sales tax and go to the sales tax URL and use the username to log in and take care of it. You cannot do everything in your business if you want to grow. You have to be able to delegate, and this is a huge step forward in you being able to do so. Congratulations.